back. This is Boomer Life on CL 650.
You made me so very happy. I'm so glad you came into my life.
Welcome back. This is Boomer Life on CL 650. Joining us in the studio today, Neil Prashad, President and CEO of Origin Active Lifestyle Communities, along with Allison Howard, the Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Origin as well. Baby boomers are set to completely change the retirement living category, and companies like Origin appear to have the head start on being real to this demographic. Did I hear that you actually have a pub in one of your locations? Is that true?
Yes, absolutely. We actually have pubs in most of our buildings, and it's quite typical of our industry, actually. And it's primarily an opportunity to just break up the whole enjoyment and entertainment aspect of living in a community. It's an opportunity to bring in friends into a more social kind of setting, family members.
And you've broken the stereotype of what a senior's living arrangement could be.
Absolutely. and I think that's really what it's all about, is finding ways to create places where people, where our customers want to come to live because they genuinely believe their life will be better. And a lot of that better part of living comes from having staff who are going to be very supportive and not doting, but being available and encouraging, having friends and making new friendships and friendships with people that you actually have something in common with. Earlier we were talking about this sort of trend of baby boomers somehow trying to reconnect to their past and the things that were important to them.
That's right, because we've sort of gone through life and we've accomplished great, achievements, and we've raised families and traveled, and now it's almost like you're the first time you're nesting when you're in your early 30s. You come around in your 50s and 60s, it's like you're nesting again. You're looking for those core values that you believe in and the things you like to do.
Exactly.
So what I understand is this is what you're trying to create.
Absolutely.
At Origin.
And having that as a business concept and then translating it into a daily reality is not an easy thing to do. And you need to be disciplined, you need to be determined. But more importantly, you need to find team members who fundamentally believe in what it is that you're trying to do and are going to help you get there.
So let's talk about the team for a little bit here, because the big picture is you're the leader of this company, you've successfully created this vision, you've made it real. Now you need to bring it all together. What are the key attributes that you look for in people who will come to work for you at Origin?
That's a really good point to bring up.
Somebody who shares your same values and principles.
We call it the Origin DNA. And again, not to be too trite about this, but we really tried to, and in my 30 years of being in the business in both the U.S. and Canada, fundamentally we all understand the importance of building a great company starts with the people that are your teammates. And to be able to do that, it's about finding people who will share your vision. And the business of caring for older people is we look at it as a sacred trust, and it's a very important thing that we do in our society to help keep the fiber of our society strong. To find people who actually believe in that, we think it's really, we were born to do this. We were born as caregivers. And as Origin, we're just trying to assemble as many of those people who share what we call the Origin DNA, which is that passion for caring. And then we support them with really strong, disciplined business systems so that we don't ask them to do anything other than care for our customers. And if we do that, then I know, and I've seen it happen time and time again over the last 30 years, that we will create a great business. But it starts with finding people who share our passion for caring.
You can't teach empathy, can you?
No, and I have the great fortune of working with and training our sales team. We call them our sales team. They're our care ambassadors, really. And the one in our training with all of our team members, we always say, start from a place of love, and everything else will come from that. And I know that sounds very touchy-feely, but if you can let that elevator go down from the mind to the heart and think, what's the right thing to do in this situation? How am I going to support this person either in making this transition or in making this choice or in this massive time of change in their life? We start from that place, and if they choose us, fantastic, because that means our values and their values align. If they don't choose us, we're going to be a resource for them to find the right fit for them, and that's what's most important. So you start from that right place, and everything else, you start from that motivation, everything else falls into place, and our business systems do support that, but our training and our ability to see that compassion and that purpose. All of our team members understand what their purpose is each and every day, and they live that purpose every single day. And that purpose is dictated from Neil, from his lips to our ears to our actions.
Right down, filters down through
Filters
the entire...
right down through the entire company. And you cannot train that. That you have to find.
That's wonderful. It's making me smile. It must make the residents smile.
Absolutely. It creates what we in the industry call the hum, which is that sort of innate feeling you get when you walk through the doors of a community that is really clicking on all cylinders, where you have, engaged, happy team members providing services to engaged, happy residents, and it's difficult to achieve 100% every single day, but everybody in our company, all of our team members, are all rowing in the same direction, trying to find that, because we all kind of understand how valuable it is, this thing that we have. One of the exciting things, and Alison will tell you, she's a big part of us trying to shape this, is trying to understand the importance of mindfulness and spirituality with our team members. So many of our team members are women between the ages of maybe 30 and 50, and they are fundamentally engaged in their own lives in spirituality and activities of mindfulness, and to be able to bring that to the workplace, and finding a space within our building for quiet meditation with your peers, finding ways to develop programming, branded programs we're working on right now within Origin that really embrace this concept of spirituality. And of course, it brings, we welcome our residents into that circle. We certainly don't preach, we don't request, we don't demand, but we're available. So we're working on right now on a concept that engages our team members who are fundamentally committed to mindfulness with our residents in our cafe, which we're calling it the Soul Cafe. And but again, it does one fundamental thing. It just shows our team members how valuable they are to our company, that we all come together as leaders and think of ways to make their lives better.
The other thing that it does that's so important when you are dealing with a mature marketplace is that when you are mindful and you are grounded and you are focused, the armor comes down, and you're being authentic, you are real, you are in the moment, you're present. And seniors can tell the difference between somebody who's going through the motions and somebody who is there and present. And in your day-to-day life, you may be going through the motions because there's something going on at home. It might not be because you don't have the heart or the compassion. It just might be that there's something going on in life. You go and you have a meditation experience in the Soul Cafe, you ground, you focus, you clear, you're coming through authentically, you're being available to that senior, and you will connect with your team members and with that person in a mindful and purposeful way. It's a beautiful thing.
It's great to know that you've created that environment in all of your properties as well. I want to just steer the conversation a little bit more towards the some of the other healthy lifestyle aspects of Origin and something that you're famous for. Can we talk about the food a little bit and the eating options? It's the fuel for all those other activities. What sets Origin apart when it comes to the dining experience?
Well, I think fundamentally, our industry as a whole has really embraced the concept of better eating and going from food service to a dining experience in all of our communities. So I think there's a certain expectation now that our customers come to us, whether it's Origin or anywhere else, with an expectation that the food is going to be really good. And so with Origin, we were definitely on the early adopters on the path to, holistic wellness and eating better. And of course, it all starts with buying better food, having better trained chefs and cooks, and developing menus that are exciting, but still nutritionally balanced and meets all of the nutritional guidelines and food preferences and food requirements. People with celiac or diabetic friendly, all of those things.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean it doesn't have to be exciting. Fundamentally, as we age, we lose our ability to taste and smell. We kind of those olfactory sensations that help to stimulate the appetite, aroma, and things that we eat with our eyes and all of those things. And just because we get older doesn't mean that those things aren't important. They just have to be different. And so fundamentally, we've tried to move our menus towards items that create more aroma, that help to stimulate the appetite, and more exciting, fresh. Local produce, that type of thing.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned
exciting.
fresh too, because is it true that you actually have a garden on site that the chef uses or that the actual residents can use?
Yeah, I think we have these small chef gardens, as we call them, which are primarily for herbs, fresh herbs. But in communities like we have on Vancouver Island and Nanaimo, we're lucky we were able to grow things pretty much all year round. But in Calgary, that's harder. So we've actually gone to some of these small portable hydroponic herb gardens that our residents and our team members work on, so that we create that sense of freshness. And again, herbs can really help to stimulate the appetite, so it's something important.
We could probably do an entire show on food and the dining options and the menus and what inspires the chef, because it doesn't matter who you speak to about living in a seniors retirement community. There's always talk about the food.
Always.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always. You're listening to Boomer Life on CL 650, and joining us in the studio today is Neil Prashad, the president and CEO of Origin Active Lifestyle Communities, along with our guest, Allison Howard, the Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Origin Active Lifestyle Communities. If you want more information or if you have any questions, I suggest you can visit their website. You can get a lot of information there. It's originway.ca. We have a lot more to cover about the benefits of retiring with Origin and living in one of their communities. We still have to talk about some other healthy living options, and that's coming up next on Boomer Life on CL 650.
Canada's only weekly radio show dedicated to the baby boomer lifestyle. This is Boomer Life on CL 650.